During World War I, soldiers used all kinds of technology to communicate. Telegraphs, radios, even signal flares. But sometimes, when all else failed, they had to rely on something much simpler: pigeons. Today, I want to tell you the story of one pigeon, a bird that saved the lives of 194 men and became a war hero. This is the story of Cher Ami. But before we dive into Cher Ami's incredible story, let's take a quick look at how pigeons even got into the battlefield in the first place. Pigeons have been part of human history for thousands of years, domesticated as early as 5,000 to 10,000 years ago in the Middle East. Initially just for their meat and eggs, but pigeons weren't just kept for food, they were also messengers. In ancient Persia, Egypt and Rome, pigeons carried important messages across long distances, using their incredible homing ability to fly back to their home lofts. By the time of the Roman Empire, pigeons were already well established as reliable couriers. Over centuries, armies and even cities relied on pigeons to send critical information, because when it comes to communicating over long distances, few things can beat a well-trained homing pigeon. Fast forward to World War I, and pigeons were still in service. With technology like radios and telegraphs often unreliable, these birds became a vital lifeline for soldiers on the front lines, delivering messages that can mean life or death. That's where Cher Ami comes in, a hero in feathers, ready to take flight when the stakes couldn't be higher. It was October 1918, and the horrors of World War I were nearing their ends. The fighting was brutal, and communication between units on the front lines was, well, a bit of a nightmare. One of the most harrowing incidences during this time involved a group of soldiers known as the Lost Battalion. About 500 American soldiers were trapped behind enemy lines in the Argonne forest in France. These brave men found themselves trapped behind enemy lines, completely cut off from help, and they faced a dire situation. They were under constant fire, with their supplies dwindling and injuries mounting. As the days dragged on, it became increasingly clear that they needed a way to communicate their location to command. That's where the urgency set in. They needed someone, or something, to carry a message through the chaos. Time was running out, and hope was fading. Worst of all, friendly artillery fire was falling on their position. Yep, they were being bombed by their own side. Desperate to stop the bombardment, they tried to send messages. Radios didn't work. Runners were either killed or captured. They had only one option left: carrier pigeons. Enter Cher Ami, a remarkable messenger pigeon trained for just such an occasion. Cher Ami was not just any pigeon, it was one of the select few chosen for the Army Signal Corps. She underwent rigorous training, getting accustomed to the sounds of gunfire and the chaos of battle. The pigeon tasked of carrying the first message, entitled "Many wounded, we cannot evacuate," was shot down. A second bird was sent with the message "Men are suffering, can support be sent," but was also shot down. The fate of the remaining 194 men now rested on Cher Ami, and the bird was tasked with carrying an important message: stop shelling us. Talk about pressure. But here's the problem. The moment Cher Ami took off, the Germans noticed. Realizing what was happening, they started shooting at the bird. Cher Ami was hit multiple times. The pigeon was shot in the chest, lost one eye, and one of her legs was hanging by a thread. And yet she kept flying 25 miles in just over an hour, all while severely injured. And somehow she made it. Cher Ami arrived at the division headquarters with the message still attached to her, delivered despite her injuries. The message read: "We are along the road parallel to 276.4. Our own artillery is dropping a barrage directly on us. For heaven's sake, stop it." The shelling stopped, and 194 men were saved because that little pigeon had the courage, yes, we're going to call it courage, to complete her mission. Cher Ami became a hero. The US Army surgeons did everything they could to save her, even crafting a tiny wooden leg for her after her recent involuntary amputation. Cher Ami was awarded the French Croix de Guerre, one of France's highest military honours. I probably butchered that pronunciation. And when she passed away a year later, she was taxidermied and put on display at the Smithsonian Institution. You can still visit her today, and believe me, she's earned her place. And in case you were wondering, no, she didn't get a medal for bravery because she had a wooden leg. She got one because she saved 194 lives. Cher Ami is just one of many pigeons used during World War I, but few of them achieved the same level of fame. She wasn't just a bird carrying a message, she was a lifeline, a last chance, a tiny feathered saviour. Today, it might seem strange to think that something as small as a pigeon could play such a big role in war. But in 1918, when technology failed and soldiers were trapped, it was Cher Ami who made the difference. So the next time you see a pigeon wandering around the park, pecking at breadcrumbs, just remember, one of their ancestors might have saved 194 lives. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Fucking hell, it's not warm. Talk about pressure. Palmer, Bellingham. Pigeon, mate, don't need one. Fast forward to... Oh, I've got a bug on me. Yeah. What was that? Pigeon? Oh, nice. What's happening over there? It's ops.
Slow
Cars,
down.
yeah.
Subscribe.
Come on.